congregational grants for all kinds of persons. People with political differences, people with economic rivalries, people with different kinds of background. And so it becomes difficult for the religious functionary to congregate these people. All of them have their peculiar background. It is therefore our responsibility to make sure that we give a sort of orientation that takes them back to our scriptures. That the scripture itself is a sociological text which spell out so many things in terms of polity, economy, interrelationship, neighborhood, and so on, even political participation and democracy. In Ekiti State, we are very lucky, I must say this, to have someone who is a scholar who understands the nitty-gritty of what we are talking about. For example, I'm sorry to say this, in some situations, the leadership might be interpreting certain concepts of religion from his own personalized background. But the government in the state has come to adopt a scholarly approach to the issue of religion. For example, in this state in the last 2 years, there had been attempts, provocative attempts between the two religions, between two main religions, because we have 3 living religions anyway, Islam and Christianity and ATR. Now, in our educational setup, Muslims who want their children to wear the cape, for example, in public schools. Yes, in public schools. Not Muslims going to a Catholic school to insist on Muslim bride or whatever, but in public schools. And most of our friends in public school want to see that hijab as a tool of propaganda. But when you have a leader like the governor who says no, when you wear something, a tradition, a cape, it is not a tool for propaganda nor conversion. And so, on more than 6 occasions, the government has intervened decisively. Even the last one was more serious. But before his arrival, the deputy governor and his SSG took over. And when the governor came, he searched out what they did. And there had never been altercations in this state. Perhaps if you have followed our history very well. It is not because there had not been provocations, there had not been difference, but because anytime we run to the executive, people are here, they are scholarly, they adopt a scholarly approach, they just bring us together and say, no, this is the... And more importantly, we have the Nigerian Inter-Religious Council, of which I am a co-secretary. Okay. And so this body has played a very, very decisive role in assisting the governor also.
So in terms of sorry to interject, in terms of ballpark figure, what's the percentage of Muslims to Christians in Ekiti State, do you know?
Well, that would
you say 50-50?
No, that would be very contentious.
Christians.
No, that would be very contentious. You're taking the register for the fact that there are so many Christians who bear Muslim names too. And the fact that there are extended families around here where we all share things together. So the situation has never arisen for us to begin to take statistical data.
Yeah, if you're to go by the number of people that go to church and the number of people you see in mosque, that may not be fully representative of those who don't go to either, but still claim to be Muslims and Christians.
Yes, you see, the problem is those people troop to the churches and the mosques assume different dimensions when they go political. That's the problem. All right. So the issue of supremacy does not actually arise. We are really coexisting, and
that's good to know. Thank you.
Mr. Wakama, when elections come, it's mainly the youth who are used to foment trouble. What are your plans to deal with such youth? And do you have a database of youth who are vulnerable and could be used to foment trouble at election periods?
Well, what are our plans? First and foremost, the 3 key things. We try to enforce, prevent, and educate. We have gone round to schools, not particularly because of the elections, but because of other crimes that have been going around, yes. And I've spoken to student bodies, warning them of the consequences of their actions, of being allowed to be used. And at the end of the day, even when you're used, what do they give you? 2,000, 5,000 naira, which is virtually nothing, you know. So we've warned them about this. But from the that if they are found, I mean, to have been involved in some sort of thuggery or electoral malpractice or the other, they would definitely be charged to court. They could lose so much, remanded in prison, sentence, etc. And if it is a volatile situation, God forbid, you never can tell what might come out of that. So we have been going around talking about that. We have also had the political parties, the leadership in the state, meet us in the headquarters together with our counterpart law enforcement agencies, the SSS, the Civil Defense and others, and INEC representatives, and also appeal to them. That's a bit of the educational thing there. But as you have alluded to earlier, there will always be those who would want to sneak out of those boundaries of confinement and try and do one thing or the other. And it has happened once or twice within the state. And in each case, regardless of who is involved, which party, the status of the person, if you're looking at all those things, regardless of that, we put them in a cell and then charge them to court. So to that extent, we too, we have to operate within the confines of the law. And so we just talk about enforcement, because once people know that this is what you're going to do, it sends a message. We try prevention from the point of view of not allowing these things happen. That's where I was referring to likely flashpoints and persons who may want to foment trouble. And of course the education bit, where you try to educate the people, advocacy, appeal to them not to do this, and give them examples of what has happened to others who have done it. Exactly.
Are the churches and mosques doing anything like that? Talking to the youth and, enlightening and educating them about the dangers of allowing themselves to be used as thugs.
And possibly the general citizens
the
as well.
Society. The society, according to Aristotle, is individual and writ large. It's all of us coming together that make up the society. And whatever happens affects everyone of us. Enlightenment is given priority. Like we have so many programs designed to enlighten the people as regards their rights. For example, as it relates to election, and because we are interested in a peaceful coexistence, and it is when we coexist peacefully, and that is when we can develop. Well, in the last 3 years or 3 years plus in the States, we can say that we have enjoyed some peace. It used to be, there was a time in the States when it was about kidnapping, and it was about killing. Now, moving forward, we have enjoyed some peace and which we want to continue.
Okay. Yeah, we have a centralized approach to all issues. You see, normally in any religious setup, the youths are always very, very vibrant, youthful, exuberant, and so on. But we have a Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, which is an umbrella organization, and we organize monthly meetings where we invite every organization, the youths particularly, tell us your grievances. And once the youths tell us their grievances and they see responses from government and law enforcement agencies taking actions, positive actions, so they go down. So we have a very firm control. I can say on the Muslim community because we have a very organized setup where we mobilize our people, where we give them orientation, where we tell them things about political, economic, and relations among all people of all living faiths. And so as a family,
they're doing that.
Of course. Okay. And so whatever at some fresh point we have.
We've got to round up now. Yeah. So let me start with you, sir, your last word, and make that advice to the people of Ekiti State and on how there can be peace, even though elections are coming in June from now up to and after the elections.
Well, in one sentence, don't allow yourself to be used. You've got your own conscience. You know the difference between right and wrong. If you are used, at the end of the day, quite frankly, you will be dumped, and you will face the music if you're caught. Okay. So,
The man on the other side is your brother. The woman on the other side is your sister.